Hello, everybody. Big Al here once again, and it's time for some sad news. I realize I'm a bit late to the party and making a video about this, but you have to forgive me. I've been really busy as of late. I am currently moving into a new house, and I work a job that eats up all my free time. So, if you haven't heard already, uh, God, it's gonna kind of be a really sad one. So if you haven't heard already, uh, Marcus Sparacchio, better known to the YouTube sphere as Armake21, has tragically passed away. And the news is brought to us by uh, his partner, his girlfriend, fiance. I honestly cannot remember. I'll post a link to the announcement that she made on Twitter so you can get the full story there. So Marcus was one of the original was one of the original big name video game reviewers um, way back in 2006. So for those who weren't there for it, 2006 was the launch of YouTube, and it was revolutionary. And James Rolfe made his big debut on YouTube by posting his Angry Nintendo, at the time known as Angry Nintendo Nerd videos, and they exploded in popularity. And as a result, there was a lot of copycats. They were known as the Angry Nintendo Nerd ripoffs. Excuse me. Uh, some tried to directly copy a shtick. Others tried to do something different. Um, Obviously, James Rolfe was very influential in kickstarting a lot of people's YouTube careers, one of them being Marcus Sparacchio, Armake21. So where a good chunk of people, tried to imitate James Rolfe's style, Marcus was one of the few that like completely did his own thing with it. The best way I can describe the Armake21 character that Marcus came up with is imagine if a New York taxi driver reviewed video games, and that's Armake. Marcus just had this real thick like New York accent, and whenever he got like really into it and really pissed off when he was reviewing a video game, he would break out in like I'm walking here and it was fitting because he was from New York, and he also was part of the NYPD. Um, I don't want to drag too long on this because so much has been said about Armake already, but it's he was one of my inspirations to do video game reviews. And there was a lot of other video game reviewers at the time. Marcus did retire the Armake character, and he would be back under different monikers known as the Waste. Some of them were Marco and the Waste of Time, but no matter what, people have always referred to him as Armake. And what's really tragic is he didn't under his new channel. He never really uploaded that much, but he did a Q&A, and people asked, addressing, the question, what happened to Armake21, and he wanted to do a comeback. He wanted to bring back Armake21 for the one that made him famous, the one that made him a cult following in this little niche group. Um, he wanted to bring that character back for one last hurrah, and tragically, we will never be able to see that because he passed away. And it actually reminds me of another content creator that I used to watch religiously in the Flash animation community. You might have heard of him. His name was Randy Solomon, and he was an innovator. He was a pioneer for video game Flash parodies. He had this. His series was called Video Game Director's Cut, and it was very simply just video game parodies, video game Flash parodies. And he's the one who put him on. He's the one who arguably put that genre on the map. You might have even heard of what's considered to be his magnum opus, Rise of the Mushroom Kingdom. It's like a 4-part epic Flash series based in the world of Super Mario. And what's sad about that is, like, after that, he kind of like went out of the radar, and then he came back, and he's like, he missed doing Flash animations, and he wanted to come back to. He wanted to bring back VGDC. He wanted to come back to making them. And then he tragically passed away. And it's Armake was one of a kind. I was fortunate enough to talk with the man a couple times. He completely different from, like, the man himself is a completely different personality to the guy that he portrays on camera. He's quiet, at least when I talked to him. He was very dry. He had a very dry sense of humor. He was dry. He was matter of fact. He was sarcastic. But he was a nice guy to talk to. And it was very pleasant talking with him, and I feel privileged to talk to the man. And it was over Skype years ago. But he was a good guy, at least from what little I did talk with him. He was a good man, and he will be missed. So rest in peace, Marcus. I hope you find peace. It's been Big Al. Over and out.